So today we're going to be talking about an experience that I had to help me shape to who I can become, to help me shape to who I became now, and it may help you as well. So hopefully it helps you, but let's just get to the point here. We're going to talk about how I won all these trophies. Before I get to this video, I just want to say shout out to Alpha M and his Empire YouTube channel, because when I look back at his YouTube channel, it made me get inspired to actually talk about content that I really want to talk about. Which specifically I want to talk about is my experiences. I always talk about it, but I don't really go deep into it, as in like some people like to quote unquote say story time. But I'm actually go deep into what I'm gonna talk about, into my different experiences, which leads me to this episode. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this can be a new YouTube series that talks about my personal journey, experiences that I experienced in life. And this episode specifically is going to talk about how I got to my journey for the FBLA conference. And really how I got to know FBLA and how it shaped me to be the person who I am. And it may help you as well if you're in high school as of now. And if not, it can still help you if you're doing something similar to what I'm going to do. By the way, I didn't go specifically on why I made this episode. I made it because Alpha M's YouTube channel, he made a video about how he went on Shark Tank and what he did to basically speak to the judges about his products and how he failed and came back to it a second time. And they actually helped him out because he was doing a YouTube channel and things. Same thing also, and what I did with my FBLA conference back to back. I went there the first year, felt disappointed, and then you'll hear it again where I go the next year and XYZ. I'm not going to go deep into details. That's what the story's for. By the way, we got polos now, so if you want to check that out, links down below. But it's going to make sense as we go into the video and / episode. So just stay consistent, listening, and write down some notes if you hear it interesting. So how FBLA all started was because when I was a junior, around that same time when I came right into Fort Chester, because I was just coming off sophomore year of virtual year, going into my first year in person at high school, and this is my first year back in school since before 2020 and COVID, the COVID lockdown. This is my first time back in school in 22, and they had an FBLA club with their different clubs. I said, let me join all these different clubs. I said, I want to join all these clubs so I can learn how to. I want to join these clubs so I can be able to get all the experience I can get that I couldn't get my freshman and sophomore year. And junior year was my year I was in every single club. And some people say that I look good on your college resume, but you know me, XYZ, college, it don't really matter. But to get to the point here, there was an FBLA meeting. They had a schedule. I think it was specifically a Wednesday around 6, or it was around 7. I can't remember what time it was. And I was there. It was a great club, big, packed in there. A lot of people, mind you. I was still doing YouTube, so I was kind of extroverted, but that introverted part was still in me because I was just coming back in person to school. That's when I met Mr. Taylor. That's when I met Miss Scott. That's when I met Miss Lundstrom. And they all talked about FBLA. I talked with them. I met with them. After the event was over, I talked with all of them. I met Mr. Taylor. I met this guy. I forgot his name. I just found out who the guy's name was. His name is Xavier Crook. I don't remember him being his name, but that's his name, Xavier Crook. And so I found him on social media. You saw it right there, probably right there. That was his name. Sorry that I forgot your name, but I remember he had a grass company. We were talking. He exchanged words with me. He was telling me about how he did his grass company. And also, fun fact here, he was actually the guest speaker at the after-school club meeting when I first went to it, because that was the opening meeting, talking about the club, what they do, how they compete, how they do things around the school, everything like that, XYZ. Once he told me about that, I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, he said, this club really helped me. Helped me to be a good leader, helped me be a good businessman, helped me with everything. And I told him, he told me the same thing like with me. He started out in COVID, I think, doing his lawn mowing business. No, not COVID, excuse me. His journey is kind of similar to mine, because if you notice this as I'm starting to speak here, you'll see later on in the story. In his junior year, he was the president, and I think he had returned back again as president in his senior year. I can't remember exactly. He also told me that he was doing his lawn mowing company during high school, and then eventually, as he graduated high school, he decided to go full-time with it. Because he was originally going to college. I think he had quit college to go full-time with his lawn mowing company. I can't remember exactly how it went. He had spoke about it to us when he was speaking at us as a guest speaker, and I also talked one-on-one with him. And we had a good conversation. I even got his business card. Somewhere around his house. I don't know if it's gone or thrown away. Hopefully it's not, because my relatives were, working out. So we were working out some things in this room. But I know we exchanged cards. He told me about his business. And I looked at him on social media. He's on social media, actually. So shout out to him if he's on there. Shout out to him if his social media handle's on there. But yeah, it was awesome. So I decided, I said, let me become president. I said, I'm a good leader. And at the time, I was just joining the leadership class for the first time. And I heard about leadership in freshman year, but I just never joined it yet. So I was already a leader in that class. I was already being the vice president of the Rotary Club. Then, now that I'm already went to FBLA, I'm going to be the president for that. And surely did. I put all my campaigns in, did everything. I became the president. Once I became the president, we were getting ready for the first competition. They were telling me what all the stuff you can do. And you know what I said? I said, let me do video production, since that's a good skill I'm good at. I want to do video production. So they told me about it. Now let me tell you, this is my first time going to it, so I don't really know all about video production like that. So, and when I mean that, to clarify you, please don't think I mean in YouTube, but I do YouTube for a living. I know what YouTube is. I'm talking about just digital video for that FBLA competition. I didn't know what type of stuff they needed me to do for it, like the terms of rules and regulations. That's all I was mentioning, if I didn't clarify that for you. When I went in there, I was very much a novelist. And if you don't know what that word means, very inexperienced, like a rookie, amateur. And we had the competition. They told me that you have to dress up, right? So let me tell you this. I dressed up, and I thought that, okay, if I got to dress up, do I need to wear like khakis, a nice little professional sweater with like some nice little Timberland boots, which I did wear, and the picture should be up there of me with the trophy. Sorry to spoil the story already, but I didn't really spoil it all the way because you don't know what place I got if you've never seen my other videos. But to get to the point here, we competed, right? So how they had us was that we were in different rooms. Once we went in the rooms, then they would call us one by one to talk about our video, what it was. For me personally, my video was talking about basically a campaign to help young people, because that was the synopsis of my project, how I had to do it. I had to make a video that talked about basically like either a conference or like a campaign that's where a bunch of youth help different youth to grow. And it can be any form. It can be basically like reaching out. It can be like non-profit. It can be like helping homeless, whatever type of topic it is. It can be like painting, whatever it is, as long as it's helping the youth. So for me, I made a video, was fan made, of course. And I had my friend Shaquille Jackson on there. Also, my other friend, Sanari Speaks. I forgot her name. Sane Speaks, if I'm not mistaken. When I had her on there and him on there, they had loved it. I think the only thing is that I didn't have the suit. If I would have had the suit, I think I would have really won the particular award that I'm about to tell you right now. So after everything was over with, I was networking with some people. Even when I first went there, I networked with some people when I first went to the school. Because let me tell you this all was in Berkeley High School. Sorry if I'm all over the place, because I'm just really trying to speak this in this nighttime, and I'm having kind of a brain fog here while I'm speaking. So just to know if I'm all over the place, sorry for that. But I was waiting on all the calls. They called all different people, XYZ, and eventually I was going up there. I was getting ready to get my medal, right? And turns out I got second place. Now, mind you, I was kind of disappointed I didn't get first. But I'm still glad I got second place, because this is districts. This is literally districts I got around February or January of 2023. It's on my website if you want to check the website down below. Our podcast community website. And also, while you're checking that community website, make sure to subscribe and notification button if you're enjoying the content. That was what I got. And so next up, we were supposed to get ready for state. So state was in Columbia. Columbia, of course, that was around March or April, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Around the spring of 2023. This time I was ready. I had two different suits. My first suit on the first day was, I had my khaki, my belt, my khaki, my belt, of course, my church shoe, my bow tie, and a long sleeve collar shirt. No suit jacket. Now, mind you, the first day was a networking event, so I networked with different schools, talked to different people. I met one good friend by the name of Jameson. Really good buddy. Respect him. Shout out to Jameson if you're on here. I got your handle on there. Respect that brother so much. And actually, we're going to get more into that story briefly as we get deeper into the story. I talked to this guy. He told me about his books. I actually got him right now. Let me get him. Yeah. He was an author. I think I got a picture of him up there. He had 3 books. His name was Brooks Harper. 7 Skills to Make Meals. Just to Chill. Student Management Guide for Students. I don't know if y'all saw that. Let me just re-show that again. Why should we hire you? Every day is an interview. 2nd edition. Brooks Harper. So basically, all these books were basically about, I think, $20 per book or something like that. I forgot what it was. but he gave me a good deal where I got 10 for like, I think one of them, and the other one was like 20. I forgot how it was. But anyway, I got a huge discount for the books. Got them books. Around that time, that's when I met my buddy Jameson and some other 2 people. And yeah, it was awesome. The next day, I competed. Actually, no, rephrase that. I competed that same day. The next day, I actually was waiting on a trophy because it was a 3-day event, but we were only there for 2 days because my event was only the second day, I think. The third day, I was there for the award. So I did all what I did, came with the award. You know what the award was? I was expecting to be first place. I'm gonna let you guess. And no, it wasn't second place again. It was third place. So I got third place for state, right? Didn't go well for me. Didn't go well for my Warriors neither at that same season because it was 2023 playoffs. We all know how that happened. I felt that like those people really made me feel bad. And ever since I lost those, I felt like I lost, even though I actually won and I was one of the top 3% in that field of doing video production out of all my competition, which I had a small competition that season, of course, for the 2023 season. Still, I won second place for district. I could have wore a suit and got first. I won third place for state, but hey, if I would have had a suit jacket, I probably would have got second. So kind of like I got it snubbed. Like I got my trophy snubbed, but it was all right. At least I won something. But it all had me reflect and had me really think about my content creation. That's why my content is so better now in 2024. Now you're probably looking at this video and expecting no edits. I mean, you're probably looking at this video and saying, well, there's no edit in this video. Not really, because I'm not going to put too much edits when I'm doing like a story time. I want you to really hear my story and hopefully you learn some inspiration from it. I had to learn I need to make better content. And 2023 was kind of a bad year anyway because I had 2 friends at the time. They were dealing with some stuff going on with them. One was dealing with a problem with some girl. The other one was dealing with depression. And I had to help them out. I thank God personally for talking with them in their darkest, deepest moments. And eventually, they had gotten better later that year in 2023. But as we were wrapping up this 2023 season, Miss Lundstrom and Miss Scott were telling me you can still be qualified for nationals. It was in Atlanta that year. I said, okay. I turned my video in late. And in reality, I did that intentionally, but I did that non-intentionally too. It was because I didn't really feel great. I felt like it was a big suck in my stomach that like I got third place. I literally got second and I got third. Yes, I'm top 3, but I went down. That's like saying I'm the Golden State Warriors. And literally 2023 we were in the playoffs. 2024 we were in the play-in tournament. You still made it past the postseason, yes, but you went down. It's just like me being one of the top 3% in my competition, but I went down. And that's terrible. I went down. That really affected me. To someone else, they're probably like, oh, I got that. But I take my craft seriously. And I felt like I needed to earn more. I didn't get first place 2 times in 1 year, which was 2023. I didn't get districts because that was second. I didn't get state because that was third. So I had to improve. I wasn't qualified for national because I turned my video in late. Didn't care. They told me have time management. I needed to learn that. At the end of the day, I'm human, so I'm going to struggle with that. But I'm doing way better with that, even more better now. But around August of 2023, Mr. Taylor was like, come on back. I didn't feel motivated. He was like, come on back. You should come back as president. Come back to the club. I was like, no, I'm taking a break. Until eventually later on that year, I decided, let me return back. I wasn't president, of course, because it was too late for campaigning. Brandon Wynn got it. And proud of him for what he did. And I congratulate that brother because he's a great leader, great person. Really respect that dude. If I know I would have campaigned, I probably would have returned back as president. It was all right because I was still former president. So, hey, that's still a W. It's not like I was just some random member. So, former president was with the president, and I helped out the president sometime. But we're not worrying about that. We're worrying about my journey getting to being in this success. I was making better videos. Around late 2023, I was making better videos. Warming myself up. Practicing. What it says? Practice. Practice make what? Perfect! No, absolutely not. Practice makes progression.
Practice. Practice makes what? Absolutely not. Dismantle that belief system. Practice makes improvement. You can always better your best. You can always go beyond anything that you have ever done. You'll never hit a state of perfection. You're always bigger than what you do. And so all you're looking for are new breakthroughs through practice and practice and practice. You'll get better and better and better.
And that's what I did. I kept on practicing so I make progression like a basketball player shooting hoops. That's how I did my videos. And even to this day, if y'all look at my videos, this one maybe not edited well, but if you look at those other videos, they're edited pretty well. Every one I try to make sure it's edited pretty well. They get your attention so you can watch it and be so fulfilled that you look at the video, you're like, wow, I'm not just learning, but I'm also being entertained, and I'm also being eye-catch because it's so beautiful and it looks so well. And that's what I kept on doing from late 2023 leading up to 2024. I kept practicing, warming up these videos, making better ones, editing, describing which one better, seeing this one, seeing how this works, seeing how that works, especially with CapCut and the stuff growing with the new features, because content creation was actually growing and it's still growing to this day as I was recording. I had better features where I could have edited faster with the transcript editing. I had better features where I could have added in more transitions that were more natural than my old transitions that CapCut had before it was updated. Well, we already got all this, so that's good. You got all that main juice. I finally got to spring of 2024, which was recently, of the state conference, because we didn't have district this year. I was ready for districts, but we didn't have it this year. I knew if we had district this year, I would have won first place, but that's all right. We had state. State this time was in Myrtle Beach. Wonderful area. I still got to record that vlog, so y'all stay tuned for that. I still got to get that out there. I'm going to work on that one day because now I'm free. I done graduate. So summertime, I'm free. So I'm going to figure out when to post that video. But I filmed the vlog. I was in Myrtle Beach. It was wonderful. We were there for 3 days. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The first day we came in there, it was more about just having vacation, you know? When I went to the first day, that was when I actually had to participate in the video production. I participated in it. I did what I did. After I did what I did, I got out there and I had confidence. I went in there with confidence. I went out there with confidence. I didn't stutter. I didn't do nothing. I've been authentic. Like I always say, I've been authentic. I went up there to speak. The two ladies, they look at me. They loved it. I told them, hold on a second, and the video paused. They asked me some deep questions. I answered it fast. And I did what I did. I didn't stutter. And if I did stutter, I snapped fast. I was like, just like that. Make sure my words are in place fast so I can get it good. And lo and behold, you'll see later on what happens. So I was just networking with some people I saw from last year. It felt like a full circle moment because, you know, this was my senior year. So I was just trying to tell everybody about my books at the time because I didn't have my clothing brand, which I got now. If you want to check that out, links down below for that. But I was just promoting my books. And also, by the way, if you want to check out my books, links down below for that too. I was just telling them all about that. And my books are now exclusively on Shopify now. They're not on Amazon no more, so don't worry about that. But I did that. I met my buddy James again. I saw him. Me and Jameson, we had a little fun chat. He was like, Brennan, I remember you. I was like, who you are? He's like, you don't remember me? I was like, oh, I remember you because he had got older. People changed. People look different. And it was good to see him again. And then I was at the beach, have fun, did what I did, relax, rested, eat food, and network with some other people at the event from Ashton Ridge or Fort Rochester, which is my high school. And next day, it was a rest day, I think. I don't think we did nothing the next day. I think the next day it was just mostly like we rested. And then later that night was like a youth night thing where we all like collaborated and networked. And it was fun. It was a nice youth night. I got to talk with many people, take pictures, do different things, give advice, speak. It was wonderful. It was like going to a business conference but full of teens. And you still had wisdom because these teens weren't like wild, aggressive teens. I mean, everybody was having fun and getting hype. But it was fun energy that didn't feel like it was all about trying to, you know, be so stupid. It was more with sense. And it was great to network with so many different young men and women about business and success. I mean, it was a wonderful event. So if you're in high school, I would highly recommend go to FBLA. I don't know how it is locally for you, but I know in the South Carolina one, it's awesome. And we had our third day. The third day was the award day. Remember I said earlier I'd be off track? So I was kind of off track because those pictures I showed you was from the day 2, the networking event we had that night. And those videos are from that night too, when they were celebrating at that little concert night, because it was 3 days, right? The first day was me at that beach, of course. The second day was me networking with some individuals. And then the third day was award day. So I was kind of off track with what I was saying, but hopefully those pictures made sense to you that those are from day 2, not from day 1, because I didn't really network that much in day 1. I was mostly just talking to like my school or like Ashley Ridge, because we were sharing schools because we were in the same district. So just so you don't get confused with that. That's when I was ready to wait. See what I do. Digital video production came fast. And you know what your boy got? I walk up there, waiting patiently. And I didn't even think it. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna even think of the best. I'm probably gonna think of the worst. And what do they say? The best yet has to come. The best has not yet to come. Something like that they say. Well, the best had come because your boy I got first place. Got first place for 2024 State Leadership Conference. And it was a blessing because I worked so hard and it took me a while. But through 1 year later, the Lord allowed me to be blessed with first place. And I'm just going to say that because personally I'm a man of faith, so I'm a reference to the Lord, if y'all don't get that reference there. But I really was grateful, man. I thank God for it. And after celebrating, me and my friend James, we took a picture. If you want to see it up there, it should be up there. Me and his buddies took a picture too. And I told him it was great to get to know him. I still got him on social media, so I can still chat with him. But it was great to get to know him because I network with a lot of people, but he was the highlight of me meeting people last year and this year because I saw his growth and just within 1 year how he did amazing things, and it was awesome. I went home, celebrated. We had Chick-fil-A. We told people at Chick-fil-A how I got it. The people at Chick-fil-A were like, "Oh, that's awesome." The guy there, which I can't work at no Myrtle Beach because I don't live in Myrtle Beach. The guy was just telling me like, "Hey, if you want to get a job, you're free to get a job," which I'm welcome for the offer, but I don't live in Myrtle Beach, so I was just a visitor. So, but yeah, it was awesome, man, and I enjoyed it. After going home, I felt proud because I said, now I know I made it. But there is one thing that I thought of as of now that I realized doesn't define me. This and those other trophies don't define me. It's me that defines me. Because although these trophies told me how I did well, they're kind of my resume, but they're not. Because you can be the worst at what you can do to other people's eyes, but to you, and to maybe someone who really sees it, you're the best. To the professionals, you may look the worst, but to the average audience, you may look the best, or vice versa. So it's all about the perspective and how much growth you get from it. And because I did all this FBLA stuff, it did help me grow into the person I became in my content creation field to build up that skill even better. But also helped me realize too that you don't need to worry about them. You kept going because at one point I didn't want to participate, right? I came back because I said I want that redemption. And I did it because I was hungry. I was driving for it. And that's how you got to be with your purpose or skill or whatever you're doing. You got to be stuck into this, not stuck into it. I don't want to say stuck. You got to be in love with it to the point where you know you want to improve with it. You want to nurture it for it to be the best. And I just hope you learned that from this episode, that you have to nurture your skill, nurture your passion, and just nurture yourself to being the better version that you want to be the next day. Because without that, you're not going to be anything. You're just going to be your worst self, if that's the case. I hope I'm not saying anything crazy. I hope I'm making sense to you. But I hope you enjoyed this wonderful episode. And please make sure to subscribe. And goodbye.